Section 3.2, promoting growth and stability. Tracking the business cycle and GDP. Free enterprise system isn't all free. It still interferes by the government to influence macroeconomics and macro and microeconomic trends. Macroeconomics is the study of economic behavior and decisions in the nation's whole economy, and microeconomics is the study of economic behavior and decision making in small units such as households and firms. For a country's GDP to go up, they have to produce more than they did previously, and it goes down if they produce less than previously did. So like producers, like if they produce more and have a surplus, our GDP could potentially go up, and if we have a rough year in like growing crops or something, our GDP could potentially go down, but it's not like the stock market. It takes longer to go up and down than in the stock market, fluctuates every day. Each phase can last months or even years. The graph represents the business cycle. There's that, then also there's, so it starts as expansion, then goes to peak, then it can go to a recession, depression, trough, recovery, expansion, and repeat the process. Promoting economic strength. The market is a vulnerable place for the business cycle, so the government tries to create public policies that promote economic strength. There are three main goals that the policymakers try to reach, and they are high employment, growth, and stability. If high employment can't be reached, like if the first one can't be reached, then the other two can't be reached. Employment policies, it ensures that jobs for everyone who is able to work, for a healthy economy. Employment should be under 6% in a country. If it grows more than the government officials try to promote job growth. The United States unemployment rate is 3.9%, and employment is a big thing because obviously in order to live you need to have an income somehow, because everything costs money. And definitely write the high employment, growth, and stability down in your notes. Economic growth. The American dream is to try to have a better standard of living for each generation than the previous one. The economy must grow to provide goods and services for this to happen, which is why employment is important. So, as I said, if employment can't happen, then economic growth won't happen, because then money won't be spent and everything will just go downhill from there. This is tracked by the GDP, and our GDP fluctuates with our standard of living. The government takes part in this by cutting taxes and increasing spending. And also an example of that, so like let's say a consumer, or the price of milk is low, it's because if the price of milk is low, then the farmer isn't getting as much money for that product, and if it's high for the consumer, then the farmer's getting more, but it's a minus for us because it's a higher price. Stability and security. Consumers, producers, and investors must be confident that the economic conditions will not fluctuate unpredictably. So like the consumers need to keep spending money in order for the producers to keep producing their products. Because when the consumer when the consumers buy things, the producers get paid, and the investors invest in those companies and brands. And if they don't have confidence, there won't be economic growth, may slow or even stop. And if it stops, that is terrible for us if we can go through the low part of the business cycle. Overall prices put a stain on consumers, poor people, and people with fixed incomes. As I said on the example for the milk, and fluctuations will affect consumers or producers. Like I said with the thing, so if milk is low, the producer is making less money, and if milk is high, the producer